Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack Talcott. Hoping to share some fellowship. Honestly, the link is pinned in the chats here on YouTube. And for those who want to join, please do. Today's another interesting day of me, and that's kind of where I'm going to start this, is the interesting part. We all have our days. Um, and they can all be mundane, plain, boring, uneventful, unsuccessful, or they can be interesting. Because every day is new, it's an adventure. It's a new adventure in the day and in the life and in the story of being you. And I've shared my growth, and I mean, that's what this YouTube stuff is right now. Hopefully, the sound's coming through all right. The YouTube stuff is me growing, and please remember to subscribe. And if this is, if these talks are something that you think folks would be interested in hearing and joining, please send them this way. Invite them in. Oops. So today was an uneventful day. I took care of some errands and got the tires rotated on the car and did the normal things you got to do while being a human. Trying to maintain a home, everything requires upkeep. And for those who know, my home and my story well, the home is part of the story, and that story is continuing. But what made this day interesting for me is the observation of me. And I am a humble man. I get accused of being arrogant because I'm confident in what I've learned and what I have to say. And my past memories have brought me confidence. Part of my confidence is faith, too. And my faith comes from my surrender. Jack, that guy, that selfish pig of the past, nah, I surrendered that guy. And so I've also noticed that my speech patterns, the methods, my methods of speech between the patterns and the choices of words that I choose, it tends to cause confusion in many. Something I'm not alone with either. I know many people who say things, but it makes no sense. Either because of the complicated thing they're talking about or because many people speak without without thought, without clear intent, without a purpose. Many people just speak to hear themselves speak. And I know I'm guilty of this in the past. Hell, I'll admit freely, part of this is I'm hearing myself speak to myself anyway, a lot of times in the day. And I have fun with the conversation, so at least it's documented. I mean, there's so many people out there who are calling me crazy, worthless, dangerous, a failure, an embarrassment. See, and that comes into the interesting part of my day, that was the thought I had. I've lived here in Spokane, in my hometown, since 97. So that's what? Coming up on 26 years, I think. And I'm a stranger. I have goals of trying to speak at the UN. I'm public and been passionate about my purpose, that I believe, you know, not speaking for the organization, but representing the mission of the organization, Veterans for Peace, and we need peace in this world. I believe it, and I believe it's possible. So I'm very clear and outward about my purpose and intentions to try and end wars, to try make a difference. But in my real life, like physical 3D crap, it's no one wants any part of it. No one wants any part of even trying. I can't even convince people to try and understand me. They go through the motions, they schedule a time, meet with me, they do what they have to do according to them and listen. But people's spirit, man. Welcome, Mr. Smith.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm feeling blessed. Thank you for coming back again. You're welcome
Thanks
back.
for having me back. I just was just listening to you there. Sounds like some words of wisdom, and I heard you mention that you're from Spokane.
Yes, brother.
We must be neighbors.
Are you near the area?
I am from the birthplace of Father's Day.
Amen, brother. Holy
So just
cows.
you know what Spokane's hottest day on record was before last year? Of course, it was the day Obama was born. Of course. I
Hey,
got another
brother, you
two
know
seven.
what?
I got another 217 for you. So from the founding of Johns Hopkins University until the founding of Spokane, 2017 days. And Johns Hopkins University was in charge of the numbers, and they have the same motto as the CIA. Their motto is John 8:32, the truth will set you free. That makes sense because Spokane is the lilac city because it was a lie to lock us down, and lilacs are from the syringa family, which is where the word syringe comes from.
Hey, I'm I gotta interrupt here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the rocky start we had. Um, Let me offer you buy you a beer, buy you a lunch.
I
I'd
appreciate you
I'd
letting me back on.
I'd love to chat because I don't know the stuff you know. I know I see different things and I've been exposed and learned different things, but the patterns, it's something I respect. I just haven't spent a lot of time wrapping my mind around them. But something here in Spokane, dude, Spokane's got an amazing history. And you already brought up some cool things that I'd like to kind of wrap my mind around some of that stuff.
It's
So,
amazing.
hey, the offer is there. I'd welcome, you know what? We're sharing the adventure today, the adventure of life.
So we have what was that? Brian Koberger, and I'm not trying to go on some big tangent. But we have Brian Koberger and the Moscow murders. You have to have heard of that. It was about
Off
a
the
month
top of
ago.
my
It happened.
head,
It happened at the Moscow University where some random guy named Brian Koberger attacked four people, and no one heard a thing. Nothing happened, even though one of the roommates heard it, saw somebody in the house with a mask, and didn't call the cops for 12 hours later. Um, Anyways, my whole point was we're at war with Moscow, and Moscow is 322 miles from Seattle. And I'm not all numbers. I'm not all numbers, but it's relevant ones. 322 Skull and Bones. We're at war with Moscow, and Moscow, the city that's at, it's 322 miles from Seattle, and Seattle's the only Seattle in the world, and you can break it into two words. And just like I was saying, I know it's kind of like the Christos Kirchner or the Ishtar Easter. Well, Seattle, cattle. It's two words, and Seattle and Kobe are sister cities. And for anybody else who knows of Event 201, Kobe was founded in the year 201. I don't know. I just
There's
appreciate
a
you having me back on. I apologize for losing my temper. Like I said, it's been hard to get the messenger shot every time from every person for the last 3 years. It's like I'm not saying I'm right, but I know
hey,
I am.
brother, literally, Mike, the guy Mike who was on here the past couple of days identifying as Jesus Christ,
Yeah, it's a
him
bit
and I
much.
him and I just had a conversation right before I came up. He's been invited back too, but here's what I urge you to consider. Okay, part of what shoots us as the messenger is the delivery. And sometimes what we can do is with our enthusiasm to share what we've learned, we don't respect the level that other people are at or what it is they're hoping, what they want. Does that make sense? I can see that. I can see that between us. That's kind of what I'm experiencing myself is you're offering a lot and I know there's value there, so I don't want to dismiss it and I don't want to be interruptive or shut you down either. But we're learning this stuff for a reason. So the question I asked Mike is okay, what's the relevance? What are we supposed to do with that which we've learned?
So just for me, I think a lot of it points to Obama being the Antichrist. Are we supposed to go out and I can't say it because he's an ex-president, so I can't say it out loud. You know what I mean? But no, I don't know. But I think we're supposed to. That's what I see, and I think a lot of people say, well, it's too obvious. But some of the different things I've discovered that are separate than anything else other people have that have just blown my mind. So you have Gonzaga has been one of the best basketball schools in the nation for years now in little old
It's
Spokane.
been a
You
while,
know, you
yeah.
know, you know who Saint Aloysius Gonzaga is the patron saint of? Blindness and AIDS. You'd have to be blind to not see through this. Of course.
See, this
Look
is
at
what I mean. You got some hometown connections here that maybe the others aren't catching, but
the
this is what
birthplace
I
of
mean.
Father's Day. There's only one true father. How can people not see that? Just trust the plan, take the jab, and you can meet your father. You got 47 degrees on the Freemasonic compass, and Spokane sits at 47 degrees. Key of the
um,
universe lies in 42. Where's Spokane? Is it in the 42nd state? Oh, it is. It is.
hey, Spokane and Washington, there's some cool history. At least the stuff I've been learning. And honestly, there's something I've been, well, there's been nothing to keep me in Spokane for several years, many years, and I've been trying to leave. There's something magical. There's something actually, you know what? I think it maybe that was just part of my lesson too. Sometimes we got to humble ourselves to where we are and find the magic of the place that we're at, right? And I think there's something magical here in Spokane. I mean, it was settled. It was settled by the. Think about it. It's up in the corner, away from those Easterners, and over in D.C., all the regulators. This was the people that wanted to stay the hell free, right? And Spokane's got a history of not only getting along with the natives, but murdering the natives too, stealing the property, of course. But there is some good stories of this of cooperative growth, and I think that's why I was raised up this way. The divine, my path as a child, it kept me. It was different than many others, and it kept me from getting brainwashed until just the right time, I think. But anyway, so Mr. Smith, we're here alive today at this time, and there's enough signs, right? There is enough signs that something divine, something terrible, something is happening, right? And that means we're a part of it. And that's kind of where my mind has been going the past, even more so the past few days, is I keep waking up every day. It's like, well, shit. I guess this adventure's continuing. What might happen today in this world? And brother, hey, I am literally, actually, I am in position right now where I can financially compensate people who want to share their talents and time and efforts towards helping me figure out what to do. Um, that's part of what this broadcast kind of was, is a surrender to freedom. We become free when we accept full responsibility for us and what we want and what we need. I am free. I've got a lot to offer. But so far, I haven't figured out how to communicate what it is that I feel I have to offer. Maybe kind of like you, man. Hey, maybe we're in the same boat together, right? We are. We are, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, hey, every day I wake up, and part of this today, this was part of, I was going to vent. It just blows my mind, dude. Everyone I know, they just want to keep going on with their jobs, keep making excuses about why they should avoid me. And it's like, what? What? You guys are so silly. People, man. Hey, people, I used to let people drive me nuts. Now I'm just seeing them for entertainment. They're just part of the experience, man.
That's probably a healthy way to take it.
Well, okay, let's come back into some of the numbers, some of what you know, what you're passionate about. You're seeing these connections, and do you believe it is? Well, I have my theories of where the numbers and stuff come. Do you have your conclusions? What do you
I
think?
mean, so I think, I think some of it, like I said yesterday, it could be a group of small people with small hats on top of their heads sitting at a table planning things. Not with everything though, but I do agree they could make up some birth dates. They could make up some things like this. So here's one I shared was the first day of the Nuremberg trial indictments took place as the same day as Event 201, but in 1945. And from the first day of the Nuremberg trial indictments until Event 201, 27,028 days, and that's the zip code of Bethlehem and Mocksville, because the word mask in the official language of the Q translates to buffoon or mockery. And in the hindsight was 2020 Goodyear, Shakira performed at the Super Bowl, and her name is an anagram for the Arabic word for mask, Sakira. You just have to rearrange the letters. It was her birthday that day. It was the 33rd day on the 33rd parallel at 3:30 p.m. because they're the 33 and a third degree Freemasons that hate God that got kicked out of their first estate.
All right, now I gotta stop you because the thought that came to my mind, life is already confusing enough. Okay. And the patterns can distract us, but they can also lead us, right? Um,
Okay? Can I share one more, and I'll let you get back to your show. I
please,
appreciate getting back on. I
please, brother.
appreciate being able to be more civil with you, and
Yeah,
I want to look in the camera and tell you I'm sorry, Jack. I lost my cool. One
yeah.
thing for people who aren't into numbers but are into God, look up Tebow 316 on YouTube. You'll find a video about a game that he had. Tebow was one of the most religious people I can think of. Am I a football fan? No. I'm a fan of Tebow because he's a fan of God. Watch it. It'll put hairs, your hairs will stand up on the back of your neck when you see how synced up it is. Not all the, it's not all, I guess, doom and gloom. It was a good sign. It was like, wow, I watched that and my jaw dropped to the floor. So
Hey, hold on just a moment. Do you do much on YouTube? Do you know the rules of restreaming? I mean, if that's something short, you want to watch it with me? We'll pull it up and broadcast it if it's something cool and
I
we can do it.
I have no idea how to do it. I am, like I
All
said,
right.
I have community posts on my channel, and that's about it. I've made a couple videos. I don't know how to watch it, make videos anymore, or how to use a Chromebook. I can't burn CDs. That's what I used to do 20 years ago when I.
I know, brother. We got to change. I mean, all the stuff I resisted learning about, it's already changed anyway. So that's why I'm just looking for people to join me in the team. There's people who have different talents and they know this shit easy.
It
And
just blew my mind when I heard you say Spokane, and I thought I saw somebody else in your chat yesterday say Spokane, and I was like, wow.
yeah, brother, I've been here since I got out of the service and I moved back here in 97. And holy shit, been here a long time. I'm ready to
I've been here
move.
since I've been here since Biden's 40th birthday. I don't think that's a good thing sharing a birthday with him. 217 days after Obama. Another
So
217. I got
40
about a million
years,
of them. But
his 40th birthday that had been 30 years ago,
no, I
something
was
like
born on
that.
his 40th birthday
Oh, you
in
were
82.
born. You were born on his. Okay, I got confused. I'm sorry. So you're from Spokane?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you moved around, or this has been pretty
No, just been
consistent?
grew up on Locust Street like a plague of.
I know where I got the idea. I'm over. I'm over by the VA on the northwest side, and I tell you what, it's a cool place. I've lived. Growing up, I graduated out of Colville, if you know where that's at, um, which is north of Spokane a bit. I
Beautiful area.
graduated out of when I moved to Colville my sophomore year. It was the 15th time I changed schools. And so growing up, we lived all over the US, a little bit parts of Canada. And then after high school, taxpayers flew me around the world in the Army. So I got to see a lot, but then I've been settled here for a long time. And I'm adventurous, man. I want to get out. Um, I never
Another
realized.
Obama link to the army. The Obama link to the army. Soldiers, I was asking in your chat, you say where soldiers stay, and they say, well, tents. They stay in barracks. It's like Barack with an extra K. That's where soldiers stay.
Hey, what I finally came, I was never a spiritual man, definitely not religious. And I still don't consider myself religious today, but I finally humbled myself. There is like an OG, there's like the Godhead, which is the author of history. We're just the narrators, the participants, the characters, the ones who are putting the pieces together so that the story may continue to be unfold. And this is where, here's where I think, brother, identifying the patterns helps us find that which is hidden. That which is hidden is usually not that hidden, it's usually pretty damn obvious. And what I see as obvious is that humans are insane, paying for wars and prisons and education and survival, because we've collectively been allowing secrets to be legal. So this is where my idea of us starting the movement here with social media even is to see if we can find that way, because we whether we like it or not, we are divinely created beings, right? And we do have free will. We can serve the light, we can serve love and life and that which is good to ourselves and each other, or we can keep repeating the darkness and the negativity and fighting amongst ourselves. But I finally figured it out for myself. If God's going to allow us to live, God's going to allow me to do whatever I want while I'm here. I mean, at least whatever I can get away with and honorably. Well, wouldn't that be a cool way to go out, right? bringing the light, exposing the lies and the corruption of our governments and economic systems, right, in a big fashion so that there's no more denying it, right? And so we expose the
I agree.
lies, the whistleblowers are protected. We start bringing justice and reform. Because just in case reincarnation is real, man, I don't know what color I'm going to come back as. I don't know where I might be at. Anyway.
Yeah, Matt Shea in Spokane had a freedom march. Him and Caleb Collier. God, it must have been early late 2020 or something like that. Maybe it was early 2021. I made the front page of the paper. I was holding a sign saying, "Q, trust the plan. Wear your hijab and take the hijab." Sorry, not sorry. I don't know any Muslim people. I'm not necessarily saying I'm anti-Muslim, but I'm saying it's their agenda to go green like the religion of Islam. They paint all their metal in their countries green and they cover their faces. And that's Obama's religion of Satan, the black cube of Saturn, Satan, and they swirl it like moths drawn to a light bulb.
That's an interesting picture.
I'm different.
Well, every perspective. I listen. I mean, I do. I try and see what's true, and I hear the truth in what you're saying, but I don't understand what you mean with the metals and the colors. But here, all I do know.
Just that's their color. You'll see it on almost every one of their flags in their countries, all their parliamentary or whatever they call their buildings. They have the metal handrails, all that's painted green. They always have, the green crescent moon or whatever. It's about going green. And Q, trust the plan. Q's the 17th letter, and the Quran starts with Q. Q, trust the plan. Or you could also say it as Q, trust the plan. Wow, look at all the grooming we got going on by the Q's. If that makes sense.
I've got a lot of theories about Q and its methods and its intentions. But I guess the future will reveal the results. I'm confident of that. Dude, this lifetime, I don't know how old you are. You look a little bit younger than me. Um,
About 40-ish.
I'm
Real
pushing
beard
50.
too. Somebody was asking if I was wearing a disguise. A real beard.
Good for you. Well,
Fake
think
glasses.
about so think about when you were young and the advancements in the technology and the logistics. The products have changed, the services have changed, the outlets of information have changed. This world, man, we're living in a very amazing time, I think. I really do.
Incredible time to be alive.
It's actually a good way to think anyway, whether you believe it or not, because I've been saying that a lot lately. God, it feels good to be alive. And then I started thinking about that, what I was saying, and it was like, yeah, compared to what? What's the alternative? Not being alive? Yeah, that's an option. And I used to want that option actually, but thank God, man.
Oh,
Thank God. But if this is real and this is true, then there is a way to do this. There is a way to interrupt the political and economic shit show that we're seeing on the media and in our communities.
I think it's a grassroots. People got to start standing up. I mean, it's tough to get a mainstream, at least not on YouTube, but yeah, you can grow on other ventures and things, but it's like a lot of different things, and I'll always accuse everybody of being controlled ops because someone like Joe Rogan, it's like here's some truth, but we're not giving you full truth. You want to touch on, and that's cool if people aren't into it, but the Earth is not what NASA says. All the NASA, they were rescued Nazis from Operation Paperclip. Am I saying I'm a flat earther? No, I'm just saying that NASA lies and that they're tongue. I mean, things that with that I've heard and I've learned and I've done my research and I'm like, wow, everything NASA says is a lie. So it's tough, because people will be like, well, here's some truth, but this is not. It's like after we've seen how the governments of the world can collude for the agenda for the last 3 years, they're lying about everything, like literally everything. So yeah, it would be great to get people to get a more charismatic person like me. You're more well versed in I think what you're doing and building a community and it doesn't always have to be an echo chamber, but it's good to get different ideas in and things that are people that are working towards a common goal. I mean, the common goal is to conserve the past. I have a child and they always ask, what's conserving? It's just like, because you want to conserve the past or you're going on a never ending slippery slope to not good things. It's not good. Never is. I don't know how to explain it better. I
I'm
gotta get back
following
to sleep.
along, and I'm not sure. I might have a slightly different perspective. My perspective on me in this world has been changing. Well, I have experienced transformation, just utter. I see clearly how inverted this world and this experience really is. Okay, but it's been humbling for me as a man, but man, I give it up to God. Right? Good game, God. Um, there's something divine about our experience every single moment of the day. Okay, and every single moment of the day, we're limited what we can do based on the environment, and the environment is going to be our resources and the people. The people has been the biggest thing that has kept us apart in history. People create the wars. People create the debts. People wrote the rules. People can fucking change.
Yeah.
The problem is convincing people they can change, they should change, and that they really, really do want the change that's available. And that's where I mean, there is something to conserving the past, okay? I'm all about I see a future of humanity where the number one priority is intelligence, knowledge, information, right? Information and creativity, the talents, the artistry and creativity that humans bring. But I see a future, man, where our old people, they're not thrown in retirement homes. I see a future where people aren't slaves to debts. And so we've got more fair, equitable, enjoyable work schedules, sharing our talent energies together. And we spend time learning from the old folks, the ones who made a lifetime here, right? Figure out figure out the truth they know that is not being taught, especially before we lose it. And then we can work together to educate the children of the community. Like, seriously, when people aren't slaves to debts, people would love to help each other out. I know that. That's who we are. But it's been these lies, man, the lies of the past. And that's kind of where I'm bringing it up again is the past. The past rules. The past rules have been written for oppression. I never really liked
They
that
call it the
shit.
New World Order. It's really just the Old World Order.
It could, I mean, everything, honestly, it all aligns with the mythologies, with the Bible, with the prophecies. Everything really does.
Can I give you one more
Sure,
here? And then I should probably
please.
get going. And like I said, I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
So somebody was asking what was the significance of Goodyear calling their blimp the November 3 Alpha. Well, November 3rd is 11/3, Kobe's first game, 11/3, his memorial, 113 days after 11/3, he released his Oscar-winning book, The 113th Day. His daughter was born. He was 10113 or 10113 days old. Um, Goodyear is from Akron, Ohio. Cleveland means to divide the land. Goodyear is the wingfoot, like Achilles. Achilles was the warrior that fell right before the fall of Troy. Kobe pulled his Achilles. Kobe translates to supplanter, which can also translate to leg grabber or heel puller, like when you pull your Achilles. Um, Lost my train of thought there, but I mean,
I
it
didn't mean
goes
to
so
interrupt.
deep, and it's like I always tell people, I hate basketball. I hate it. That's not why I do this. It's not because I like basketball. It's because wow, the synchronicities and stuff, and they're trying to point things out. So
Hey,
I got to get back to my family. I appreciate the time, brother from
before you
another
go,
brother. You'd be a way older brother to me, maybe not too much, but yeah,
I wanted to ask briefly if
not trying to be
before
rude,
you
but
leave. Hey, I don't ask. I
yeah,
don't usually seek opinions, but you are a man who knows numbers. What is your? Do you follow, pay attention to gematria, Zach Hubbard?
no.
No.
That's
All
why they
right.
hate me. I don't really care for gematria. So here's the only I
Okay.
have about two of them. Here's one of the few ones that I do. Michelle Obama is a boy, a man. So from her birthday until the date of boy, which would be 2-15-25 or BOY, the second letter, the 15th letter, and the 25th letter, BOY, 22/3/11. Everybody knows what 3/11 was. I saw in the chat. So 3/11 was the pandemic. Yeah, but 3/11 was also week 11, third day, because it was the hindsight was 2020 Goodyear and everything lined up. And I pointed these things out in 2020 and 7 channels ago. People might have saw it and said, well, that's kind of interesting, but I still didn't have videos for it. So it's not about that. It's about I feel guilty that I didn't let people know from day one 100 accounts. I should have just kept making accounts and letting them know that John Hopkins University has the same motto as the CIA, and that Hopkins means son of Hob, and that's an old name for the devil. Because it's
Well,
not about
so
taking care of people. You can see that.
once people know this, what are they supposed to do with it?
Well, I hope they would have not taken the jab, and people wouldn't have got coerced into, the medical tyranny that happened, and all the people that lost their jobs. People should have stood up to it, and I definitely did. I never wore one. I have berated people twice my size out in public. I don't know how I've never been shot or stabbed or got my ass kicked by some. I just like it didn't matter. It's about defending, the future of the children. Public, and I still see
Well,
people. I'll,
I
do what
see many
I will
people taking
berate them until they
stands
take their
that,
fucking face off. It's like let's stop trusting
yeah,
the fucking government.
let's,
China
yeah,
thanks you for wearing your face.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was illogical. Hey, thank you, brother. Yes, you're welcome back anytime.
appreciate you.
Enjoy your day and the blessings with the family.
God bless, Jack.
So God bless. Hey, for those who are here, if you want to hop up, um, we can continue some conversations, ideas of the future, some ideas for surrendering to freedom, to embrace and capture that freedom, the possibilities that are within you. Because when you're free, you have the right to choose. And if you're what I've noticed we do as people, I'm gonna, hey, Provo, much love. You are an inspiration to me, and I've admired you and the way you just share what is within you. So I'm kind of flowing with this for a little while, whether or not folks come up and join. But um, I don't remember where I was going. Surrendering for freedom. Believing that you are more than what you used to know, believing that there is more than what you've considered. This, okay, talking is getting the thoughts out. Welcome, Moose. Good to see you, brother.
Blessings, brother. How are you doing today?
Another beautiful, amazing, interesting day in the adventure of life. How was your day?
It has been what I would consider a huge blessing. Got a lot of work done, got a lot of plants in the ground. I'm feeling good. I just wanted to show some support for you and say I'm glad you're doing another live stream tonight to share your wisdom and open up the doors for conversations for all of us.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you returning. I don't know what you've heard or what anyone does here. Moose, there's something interesting. When I say my life is interesting and it's bizarre, you've really got to try and consider it from my position. Just once. Because I hear a lot of people talking about my name, talking about what they think about what I've said I've done, or what they think about what they think I should do. I see a lot of people talking about me, but Moose, every day, every day is just like me and God, man. It's like,
Amen, man.
well, the crazy thing is I know God is with all others, and so I'm like, God, why? What's what am I lacking? What do I need to overcome? What thoughts are keeping people away?
Nothing. That's the thing. You lack nothing.
You're right, but I thank you. You're right. I do. I recognize that. I do. I lack nothing. I need nothing. I want for very, very little. Um, and I feel like I've got a lot to offer. But that's what I was saying earlier. Fucking nobody's got any time or interest. Last time I talked to my mother was on Christmas. And it had been like, fuck, maybe it had only been 6 months in the past couple of years. She'd been avoiding me before that, but since Christmas, and she sends me a text for Easter. I'm like, okay, well. And then I drive down the road to go take care of errands, drive by my my union president's home, who fucking freaked out on me because I said hello, and she's obviously feeling guilty because she allowed my career to end. So it's like, what the hell, man? Hey, Joe,
What's
I'm up
good?
here having a sob session. Thank you for
I
joining, brother.
just
Are you?
I haven't been listening. Hey Moose, I haven't been
What's up,
listening. I
Joe?
just took a break from editing, looking for some company. Was happy to see you at the link out. So I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest with. I bet you when it's just us, conversation goes well. You're right. There won't be any drama unless somebody else comes in. I'm just guessing here.
It always does. It always goes pretty well between us, and then all of a sudden the extra people come in, and then all of a sudden I start getting wild, and they start getting wild, and
Yeah.
You know, things change. Thank you for joining. And Joe, we've I started out talking about a few topics about my day, and I was Moose was just allowing me to kind of vent
Very good. Very good.
some of
well,
the
what did
stuff.
this lady do? The what did the union you didn't get to finish?
Oh, it's recently she's one of the ladies at the restaurant that freaked out and called the bartender and security on me. But the relevance to her is she lives like less than a mile away. I got to drive by her house all the time. she has stayed in my home before. I mean, it's like we were friends. All these
Wow.
people I'm talking about, they're fucking nuts, man. I don't know. And here's the thing too, Joe, you do a very good job of pointing out and making sure that I'm not trying to sell myself as something special, because I'm not. My story is the same as everyone else's.
Right, man.
Right? Here's a theory I have, right? There's a light of God that's within us, whether we recognize it or not.
Yes.
It's in my experience, I've seen people, it's a theory of mine, but people treat me similar to their relationship to God, right? If they're feeling guilty or something, they push me away. And I think that's what humans do with each other.
I think generally speaking, you're accurate. Yeah. Right. If I'm feeling bad about myself, I'm gonna treat people differently. I'm gonna the light, to put it in your terms, is gonna be different. It's gonna be duller. If I'm feeling good about myself and have a lot of self-esteem, then I see those things in you, and I'm gonna appreciate them in you more. And in fact, some people, it's my belief, that even go to the extent of they think they're worthless. Why are you over here with my worthless ass? You must be worthless as well.
Amen. Hey, Henry, good to see you, brother.
Hey, I'm not gonna let you guys
That's
have all the fun.
Henry.
How dare you have fun without me, Jack? How dare you?
Hey,
Hey, Henry.
How's it going, Joe?
I gotta ask you about that shit yesterday, Laura. Oh, Lauren, how the fuck did y'all? They must have. How the fuck did they get y'all not to, I don't know, vet them better or something?
How much of it did you see? Did you see all 3 live streams?
I saw 2, and if I'm being honest, I didn't even see the whole stream. Somebody I saw the first one, and it was over within 5 minutes after I got there. And the second one only lasted about 10 minutes before I left. So those are the only 2 I saw. But holy fuck, bro. Those guys were lousy, bro. Lousy. And fucking Lauren seemed like she was a little slow to pick up on it, which means the setup must have been grandiose. They really sold it. Otherwise, she wouldn't have tolerated it so much. And I'm just in my head guessing some shit.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've moved on. We've got some stuff lined up, so we're looking forward to hitting it hard next time we go live.
Yeah. And you learned as well, right? You would have learned as well. I'm sorry, Jack and Moose, if you didn't see Lauren De Laguna, which, Harry produces for yesterday, some really, she was interviewing some guy. He was claiming himself to be a comic, a big artist on the internet, drew comic shit. And turns out, and he had a guy there with him saying, he has a few issues, so I got to be here too. And he started saying crazy shit like, he goes to the library and pulls his nuts out and saying dumb shit, which I immediately, I'm in chat, troll, you're being trolled. And then he spins around, pulls his pants down and try to stick something up his ass. And that's when she cut it. And then the same guy who recommended that guy tells her, don't worry, I got another guy for you, clear shit up. You can see she's skeptical. She's like, are you sure? She's already getting hot. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. The next guy comes on. Henry, what was the next guy? I barely remember. I don't remember.
Supposed to be King Cobra.
Yeah, supposed to be saying King Cobra, some famous internet dude, I'm guessing, and Laura phone starts blowing up, telling her that this ain't even the right dude either. They're trolling you here as well. Man. Yeah, it sucks, right? Because she's starting out, and I don't know how, but she gets good guests. I'm rooting for that girl like a son bitch. And this sucks if people come in. That's 3 in a row where folks trolled her and trying to make her look bad. It sucks.
Come on, Joe. Are you trying to make me feel bad?
Hey, yeah, Joe, right? Moose started that shit on her. Started that pattern.
I didn't know that, Moose. I didn't know.
Bro, I don't know, man. I just took it what she was doing. I took it as she was trying to catch me up, like the police or whatever. So what I did was I set it up. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. And then I sent Jack.
Oh, you didn't even show, huh?
It was
Right.
bad. It
Yeah.
wasn't very honorable,
Yeah,
Jack.
Hey, Henry,
Joe.
she don't do herself any favors. I'm sorry, Jack. She doesn't do herself any favors with some of those probing, catching, making fun of motherfuckers. It might bring more of an audience, but it's gonna limit the guests that you can have. Don't nobody want to go up there and be like, by the way, did you enjoy it when you did meth? You know, I don't hear that fucking shit. Yeah? That's just me though.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Actually, not to keep on the subject, but Joe, what you said, I like what Henry and Lauren are doing.
Me too. Me
I
too.
see a lot of potential and some cool stuff going. I see a lot of cool stuff happen in a lot of places. And Joe, after I started looking at your stuff, man, it's an honor, brother.
He's just not watching my vids.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just realized that this dude has like 60, 70, 80,000 subscribers. Probably one of the biggest dudes that people have on his platform. Nobody ever gives him the respect, the recognition. This
That's
is Joe Cool, man.
that's my
That's why,
point. He's a humble man who's already making some achievements and some influence, and I admire that, brother.
And
yeah,
I
man.
prefer that humble shit because I am the same exact guy as you guys are. When I got to 15,000, I lost my head. They put me in the what is that, the Urban Dictionary, because I tell all the cops to blow me. I was like, yeah, check me out. I'm in the Urban Dictionary. I lost my head, and I try to kill my ego every opportunity I get now. Anything that's ego driven or ego, even when I'm cutting my biz, I cut my shit out. I'm like, that might be ego. I'm taking no chances. It's too easy. I prefer and I believe that there's no difference from Henry behind the scenes as and me. Zero, man. Unless you go
Can
into,
I
I might have a worse temper or something.
can I ask your advice, Joe? And this
Of
might
course.
help Jack as well in his situation. So, everybody has a message, and if you're on YouTube, you're trying to grow something,
Yeah,
and you're trying to reach the audience
I
that
like it.
that your material deserves.
Yes,
And when you grow, there's growing pains. Like
I agree.
you make mistakes,
Yes,
you do things you shouldn't have.
yeah,
Some things work really well.
yeah,
You experiment, and it's sometimes it's difficult, sometimes it's fun.
yes,
Uh,
I agree.
how do you decide what you stay on? Is it what you feel in your heart? Is it what the audience responds
No,
to?
no, no.
Is
Fuck
it
the
what?
audience. That's secondary, tertiary, even. It's really you got to go by your own shit. That's what drew the audience to you in the first place. Do not start listening to what the audience want. Don't do that. My first big mistake that I did. I was very new, and I was yelling at a cop. He was fucking with some black young like teenagers and shit. And he told me, get away from me. It's not your business. I said, it is my business. They're my people, not you. He said, what people? And I say, black people. And that still bites me up. That was 3 years ago, and that still aggravates me to no end. That was a mistake, and I corrected myself because that shit got nothing to do with race. I just happened to be in my neighborhood black community, and I fell for the bullshit, and that bothers me, and I corrected it, and I do no more. And I'm always getting people, okay, Joe, now go talk to this. They try to get you to do what Long Island does or whatever the other auditors do what they expect. I never fucking pay them no attention, bro. Or very little.
And did you have to trim down parts of your personality or parts of your activity to
For the
streamline
better.
it to be on YouTube?
Mostly for the better. My temper, even now, all my videos have to be manual review. Every one. My temper was really bad, and I changed my temper. And now, to do the YouTube shit and be an adult, I do. You should see the video I'm editing right now. It's so much fuck you, I'm gonna kill you, fuck you, blah blah blah. And I used to let that shit slide. So I didn't get really any bread off of this shit. Now, in order to get the money that I get to travel, I do cut out the curse words. But I think that's the only concession that I've made, and not all of
Okay.
them. I still curse more than any fucking auditor on there, but I know from doing it so much that I can say, "Oh fuck," but I can't say "fuck you." You know,
Yeah.
I can yell and be like, "Fuck you, I can't stand you." Well, not fuck you, but fuck that shit, I can't stand you at a distance. If I get in a cop's face, it's not allowed anymore. Little shit like that you learn over time.
Because Jack's doubled his subscribers in a very short space of time, and eventually he's going to have the same questions internally as Lauren and I did, which is
he should be having them now, right?
You know, what format do you choose? What subjects do you choose? What kind of people do you bring on? What kind of people do you stay away from?
He should be going having those decisions now. He should be going through that shit every fucking day.
Yeah, because me and Lauren think about it all the time. Like, should we be doing law? Should we be doing, you know?
Yes. Can I make a suggestion, Henry? And
yeah, go for
it. Jack, because this is your opening. Stay away from the drama bullshit. It brings you quick fucking audiences, and it brings you quick, and you'll get the 100+ people in there with that drama shit. But it's fucking poison. And for cats who are serious, it cripples you. Right. You know, there's nothing you cats can tell me when you get to that point. I'll judge you harshly. I'm probably saying that wrong, but in the eyes of serious men, it'll detract. And those are the guys I want Lauren. I want Lauren in there with fucking, you know, some of the big wigs. And they're not going to come. Some of these big guys are not going to come in there if you got that petty nonsense. It's funny to us. I love it and all of that shit, but she's not going to get Jordan Peterson in there if motherfuckers in there talking that crazy shit about, you know, whatever they're arguing in your chat, whatever the fuck it is. You don't want no part of that.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks. Agreed.
Joe, wait. I dropped links for both of you guys in the chat, so I allowed my mind to wander just a little bit. But I think I heard what you were saying, and you said the names I want too. I actually want to have a discussion, a platform discussion with folks like Jordan Peterson and Patrick Bet David, PBD.
So how do you get there? How do you get there, Jack? You're going to be a growing YouTuber. You're going to get a big audience soon. People are going to start to realize what your philosophy is and what you offer. So what's the roadmap to interviewing Jordan Peterson? Connections.
I'm going to come across the right people who know the right people. They're going to share the idea, and someone will encourage someone on Peterson's team to take a look. You know, I've tried reaching out, and as I grow, once I do have something to point to, maybe I'll reach out again. But at this point, without a larger, I mean, the subscriber count is growing, and I'm very grateful.
I hope that's, Jack, because you made a change. You used to be much angrier and short-tempered and all. I hope it's because we're seeing you now, you know, which I like to think I saw even when Paul was treating me like shit. I was like, I'll go that nigga room in a heartbeat and rap with him. You know, I think you guys are wrong. I like him. I hope that people are seeing that more, especially since you're not under Paul's room where everybody just tears you up there, and here where they can see cats like me and Dude come here and appreciate you. I hope it's something to do with the changes that you've made.
Amen. I believe I can't speak for others, but I know I've noticed my own growth, and part is because of the challenges that I've been facing, you know, and part of those challenges brought some of the growth, and with the growth, a lot of people have kind of joined me as I'm stepping aside a little bit. And Paul and I, we are merged. Proper instruction motivates people, and the live without fear are merged from now on in history, at least so far.
Both of you guys, Henry and Jack, do you guys think that, like with rap music, there are two different approaches? Some people immediately try to sound like everybody else, and that may or may not work. And then you have those guys who do their own shit, underground type shit, and people come to them because they got something special. right? They you know, you got some people who go out there and send tapes out to everybody and blah blah blah, and you got some people who just be their genuine selves, and the people are attracted to them, and that way the companies come to them. I hope you both of you guys achieve that shit. You put your head down, work for 6 months, then when you look up, you put your head down and work for another 6 months before you even start thinking about Jordan Peterson and shit. By then you look up and those connections are all over the fucking place. People are asking you to do a thing. They recognize you for your work. Just put the work in. The rest will follow.
Amen, brother.
Uh,
Beautiful advice for me and everyone. Go ahead. What were
I
you saying?
agree, dude. Jack, I think you've made your stride right now, and I think if you do buckle down like he's saying, I think you can double your subscriber count, triple, by the end of the year. And I know that's not your one goal. I'm not trying to put that on you, dude.
No, I
it's got to
I'm
be
understand.
a
just
big
saying,
goal of Jack's though, because his message has to hit a lot of people. We need to get him a bunch of fucking subs, bro. Which means I'll be yelling at you in the heart on you, because when I recommend, I got friends I won't even send to certain rooms. Like shit show, as much as I love them, I got to be careful. I can't send motherfuckers over there if they're not like bulletproof and shit. So I will be making sure that if I send someone over here, like right now, I don't have any fucking problem. I think a person will benefit coming over here, but I'll stay on you because I feel like we're connected in some fucking way now.
Amen, brother. And you know what? I want whatever I build to be a place where people can confidently say, "Hey, yeah, go spend some time over here. It's worth checking out."
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a shit show, but entertainment is entertainment. There's a time and a place for it, but I think goals and learning and growing, I think that is fun.
Yeah, that's what get my cocks hard. I like arguing in the shit too. It's hilarious watching, hip house Hollywood's wives and shit, which is what these shows turn into. It's funny sometimes, but my heart lies in a good debate and where I can learn a thing. I'm with you on that, and I learned a lot fucking with you and Paul and Moose now, man. You got to get through a lot
Can
of bullshit sometimes, but I do learn a lot.
can I tell you guys a very quick funny story?
Yeah, I'm down.
So about 10 years ago, I used to follow this YouTuber, and her most popular video had 100,000 views. And I kept sharing her stuff online, and I was like, guys, this girl is lit. She's on fire. She's 17. She's got these like 3 great tracks. Nobody's ever heard of her. Keep following her. And that was Dua Lipa. And
What?
it was a couple of years later, I heard one of her songs in Walmart, it's called Asda in the UK, but it was in like a big shop, and I was like, fucking hell, I fucking knew it.
Oh, very good.
And so I like to pick people and just like push them and push them and push them, and that's why I'm with Lauren. That's my story.
what do you get out of it, Henry? If you don't mind, do you get any money, fiat, or anything like that, or is it just experience and having fun?
No, we have a 60-40 split, so we're partners.
But besides the bread, I'm more interested in the other part of that question. Besides the money, you get anything out of it? Of course you do.
I made a few short films. I used to work for Netflix briefly, so my background's film, longer format, narrative production.
I
So
wonder
the
if I'm
YouTube stuff.
asking a different question. Maybe you're answering it. You out of Lawrence, what do you get out of doing Lawrence's show? Do you learn your fucking editing skills? Do you learn your communicative skills? Do you learn, there's got to be other things that you're getting out of there besides, yeah.
There's a very definite answer. If you make a film, even if it's a 10-minute short film, you're looking at 2 years before an audience sees that.
Wow.
So 2 years before you get any feedback whatsoever.
Yeah.
With YouTube, it's what, a day? Or if you're live, it's 5 seconds.
You're right.
So it's a completely different animal, but it's in the same sphere that I'm used to. So it's very exciting. Yeah. I'm learning a lot. and it's live television, which is very exciting.
Very
So
good.
that's what I
Like
get out
during
of it.
a concert, you get that immediate fucking reaction. I do drywall and shit. That's my side hustle. Been for years. It takes a while. You know, you got to do the demo. The homeowners all nervous and shit. Then when it's done, everything's fucking beautiful. But I also did a lot of concerts and shows. And that moment when as soon as you say a thing, the audience reacts and jumps out their seat. And nothing like that instantaneous shit. On YouTube, I've done shit probably got, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views in a day. And yes, you get your dick hard. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's us. That's our journey.
That's our journey. I like that better. Yeah. The journey is where it's at. Fuck that bullshit. The accomplishment shits that feeds the ego and may be necessary in some ways, but it's the journey. You know, I'll put it in the cop watcher shit. I'm going to meet fucking High Desert. That dude's in California. I can't remember where High Desert, wherever the fuck the High Desert is. I met him in Utah first, but how many states do I go across in that process? You know, do I skip all the states and it's all about meeting High Desert? No, it's about the chick I met at the fucking gas station. I talk to everybody, bro. It's about the states I stopped in, the hotels I stopped in, the people I met. When I met dude, I got this thing where I tell everybody, listen, I don't even want an audit. That shit's secondary. Take me where you hang out. What foods do you eat? Who are your friends? And then I tell that to everyone. And then when I got to High Desert, he told it to me. He was like, listen, man, people don't take this well, but I like to show you around. I was just like, I'm home. I'm home. It is not about that fucking what's shown on YouTube. It is about those connections and those moments. It's the journey. Don't ever forget that. That's good fucking advice, bro.
Joe, I want to reinforce that lesson and that message for anyone who's listening too, because serious. Define what the journey is, right? The journey isn't just this 20-year plan of whatever it is we've been working
Yeah,
for.
I want to be on the cover of so and so magazine. That cannot be the fucking plan.
Well,
It
it
sucks.
can't it can be,
Can
but the focus
You're right.
of the journey is always today.
You're right.
You
You're
know,
right.
it's real easy for us to get lost in the plans,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
consider
actually,
yourself a nothing if you haven't achieved that magazine cover. In your head, you become a nothing until that happens now.
you can. Now, here's the reverse to that, though. The counterintuitive thing is you got to put your belief in the achievement as though it's already there. Otherwise,
Agreed.
if you see that achievement as far ways away, well, fuck, you're going to be miserable, man.
I set my goals when I started this. If I can get one person to see what I see, I set small goals. That's all I wanted, bro.
Joe, I love it. Yes.
And every time someone says, you know, oh, thank you, Joe, I see what you mean. You know, now I film, or now I call, or now I know I don't. You know, anytime a motherfuckers has some growth and shit, man, I'm damn near like leaping like a little teenage girl or something, man. I get really excited.
Sorry, my mind drifted.
No, sweat it, bro. This
Put
is great.
that.
This is the journey that you spoke of. This is what it looks like with me cop watching. There's a lot of time you're out there filming nothing. You know, I go to what is that? What do they call those? Domestic calls, which I'm not going to film anyone arguing with their spouse and shit. But I go there and keep my camera in my pocket. To me, it's part of the fucking job, just to make sure the police don't do stupid shit by my presence. Most times, nothing ever gets on YouTube. You know, I got hours and hours of film no one ever see. That's the job. Endless miles, 15 hours to get to one location. That's the job. And then a motherfucker see a 7-minute vid and think that's the job. No, it's not.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's taken us 4 months to get one guest. That was the longest we ever had.
You guys are killing though. I swear you got the greatest guests, and I'd be so mad whether it's a fucking audio problem, the guy's lens heads is blurry or whatever, man, or fucking Lauren. And I'm glad you're there, because my biggest complaint with watching Lauren is that when the guest starts talking, she'll check other things. She'll check the chat and do what good hosts do, I guess. I'm not a host. But she'll miss some of the things dude said. And so she won't ask, in my opinion, the appropriate follow-up question. She'll ask that question number 7 that's on the paper. He opened the door for a great conversation. She didn't see it because she was fucking taking a note or looking down or something. I see that a lot. Fuck that. Let Henry do that shit, all of it, and you listen to those fucking guests, man.
Joe, that's exactly why I want someone like Henry. That's because I try and pay attention to what's being said up here, but at the same time, I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out.
I think Lawrence can and will go further than most people. I know some people who can read everything in chat and still converse with the people on, but it's not, I don't see them ever going as far as Lauren has the ability to do. It's okay for them because they're doing what they do for that. But if you want to fucking be, I don't know, some big, old school hosts who we used to admire. I can't even remember the old news people who we used to admire, or talk show hosts who we used to admire. You have to give that person your fucking attention, man. Someone said that in order to achieve that, you have to ignore chat totally, which it sounds scary to me. I always try to involve the chat, but they're like, you can't do it. You got to give that guest 100%. And there's something to be said for that shit. That might be the difference between you and Lauren blowing up and staying stagnant.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan focuses 100% on the guest.
That
he never.
I didn't know that, but
the newspapers could be screaming blue murder about Joe Rogan, and it won't touch the surface.
Yes.
So yeah,
and he's got a Henry too, right? If it comes up in conversation, he doesn't be like, here, let me find that clip. He'd be like, Bob, I was saying, can you pull that up? Yeah, like I was saying, and then Bob does it, you know.
Hey, I want to bring it back. Oh, go ahead, Henry.
On you go, Jack.
I was going to bring it back to what you were saying about after all the work, all the actual job, the editing, the time out there, the tip of the iceberg is shown, and that's the results, right? But one of the things that before I distracted myself, what I was remembering is many of us, we're all here for our own reasons. Some of us do discover our purpose. Many don't. Many just get told what they're supposed to do while they're here.
I agree.
But even when we get that spark of idea for a purpose, then the next trap for us is we build a plan. And then we let that plan take over who we are.
Yeah.
So what I've been learning for myself and what I encourage others to do is have that purpose, get clarity on that unbelievable goal, the unachievable one, right? That'll take a lifetime to achieve. Put that out there. And then find the task that's available today and, start out, even if you don't have all the details of the plan, even if the roadmap isn't there, just take some steps and be ready to adapt.
Agreed. That's been working for me. I say yes to every fucking thing. And Joe, you want to go to Albuquerque? I'm down. Yeah, it's not part of my plan, but suddenly, it was the right thing to do.
Joe, I love that you said that, because one of the recent inspirations I heard, I'm always focused on how to get clarity between the ego and the spirit.
Yeah.
And I heard the Spirit of Christ described as the spontaneous and generous love that is within us. So it is our spirit.
Amen, brother.
Wants us. Our spirit is spontaneous. And it loves to give.
I think so, man.
Joe, I encourage you and those listening. These are lessons I did not fucking know myself, but I'm doing this too. Life is about yes and.
Yes.
Yes, this is happening, and I can do this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Like I hear people say, uh, you know, I can't focus on this person. I got my own stuff to take care of. I don't have, that I don't have time for that because I must do this. You'd be surprised. You can probably do both, man. You wouldn't say that if you got 6 kids. I only got time for 5. You wouldn't say that shit. If you love that motherfucker, you find a way.
Amen. Our human minds, we create these limits and we create these fears, these dangers, these anxieties. Man, humans, we are each our own worst enemies. But
Yeah.
we're also the savior that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, you know what it takes to become that savior? It takes cats like you and Henry and Moose to give you some validation that you're on the right path, which is why, like yesterday, Jack, I stayed in chat a long time when they were beating you up. I think you were in Paul's. I stayed in chat a long time. Even though I thought a lot of their assessments were correct, I'm thinking he's getting beat up right now. I'm gonna fucking chill. I don't want to fucking add to that shit because it's just as important that he get the validation shit as well. I'll hang out and wait and let the beating up happen, and then I'll get up there and remind him that he's still a god. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. There's a time to fight, and there's a time to allow the fight to do its thing. I've been learning, Joe, I grew up learning how to fight. I mean, bullies, that's how I learned to fight, was starting shit with bullies.
Yeah.
The lesson I've been learning as I've been maturing, though, is when not to fight.
Yes. Right.
When to allow people to be themselves,
I've literally had pistols in my pocket while I'm fighting. Never even occurred to me to pull it out. That's you learn when to fight, and you should think of the karate master that teaches his student, Sun Tzu, Art of War. He spent the first chapters dedicated to don't fight, avoid the fight. Then he taught you how to fight. But it's important in those Eastern philosophies. I think they're right on. I'm going to teach you all of these dangerous tactics, man. But your objective is not to use it. The police around here, the police brag on how many people they killed. I saw this one guy bragging to a bunch of youths. I got 5 bodies, and on the corner with my guys talking crazy like that. I prefer the cop who retires and says, I never even drew my weapon. He's a god to me. Yeah.
Amen, Joe.
I like that. He's a god to me. That's nice.
Humans, man, people. It's hard to generalize and classify, but there's a lot of damn good people out there placed in tough positions, either by their choice or by the choices of others, right?
Right on.
Where my mind is at is the two big factors of poverty and the police.
I love them both. Yeah.
There's damn good people in both of those trying to navigate and figure out what is right.
If we could stop arguing about whether I got to call you they or them as a pronoun, or whether black or a politician, Democrat, Republican, which is more, then we could talk about these things. You talk about poverty and policing, man. Because at the end of that race conversation, when I do finally get to express that, oh no, racism exists. I know some white motherfuckers still believe it doesn't exist. That was in the past. When you get past that, the next thing I want to say is that the main reason it exists is because we're such easy targets. We have no money. It's poverty. It's what you talked about. It's not really the race thing. We're just an easy fucking target because we don't have a lawyer, can't afford one. My father isn't a doctor or a lawyer. You pull up a white motherfucker in a nice car, you may have to deal with that. His uncle's the city councilman, blah, blah, blah. You pull over a fucking brother from the ghetto, he's not even going to go file a complaint because they don't, hear that shit, man. They're going to talk crazy to him.
Joe, you're absolutely right. And Well, my eyes have gone many different ways. When I the left high school, I thought I was an oppressed white kid, and I thought I was racist. But the more I've grown, the more I've learned, dude.
I coughed through all that. I barely heard you.
No worries. Hey, actually, my mind just drifted, not to name drop, but maybe to promote. I haven't thought of the guy in a while. Um, Bill Fletcher, William Fletcher Jr., I think. You ever heard of his name? I can't
Okay.
remember his association, but he's very active in racial education. I don't know the best way to diversity education, maybe is a better way.
Yeah.
He's a doctor. He's got a wealth of knowledge regarding history and stuff like that. He was part of a class that the Washington State, the Labor Council put on, a training for diversity. I went through this class in 2018, and it was right after I attended a commemoration for the loss of Dr. King.
Yeah.
My eyes, like, I didn't realize how ignorant I was regarding the way the systems are designed for what you just described, Joe. Fucking the color of skin is an easy target. Keep that poor, keep it
Yeah.
uneducated, keep the family
Yeah. Keep the
broken, keep them
division,
angry.
right? Yeah. Keep them,
Dude,
keep us angry. Keep the division. Yeah. Keep. Yeah.
I never realized. I joked about this recently, Joe, until my energy started changing, until people started reacting to me the way they did.
Yeah.
I never realized how much there was to the white privilege, right?
Yeah.
How much I'd gotten away with saying things and doing things that I know
Yeah.
my black friends would have been thrown against the wall for,
And I think that of all my life, I've said racial relations are getting better. This is the first time when I would say they're getting worse. Um, in my opinion, critical race theory. Um, uh, the next guy has less of an opportunity to learn what you discovered on your own. They're trying to put it in classes and tell black motherfuckers and minorities, listen, it's weighted against you. Here is how some of the ways. And they're outlawing that shit. It's gone. You're not allowed to talk about race in no fucking classroom. You can talk about Hitler and Palestine and Jews, but if you talk about something that happened here that Americans did, it's unallowed. It's hate speech and all that crazy shit. They just passed new laws in I think it's Mississippi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mississippi, where the rich, the wealthiest people, Jackson is all black folk, and their vote matters. So, in order to change the system, they district, just I forget what you call that, remap the district so that they had their own community, all the rich white people, and only them can be in office, and no longer will elections be allowed for these certain offices. They will be appointments by this certain white guy who came up with this idea. And the first thing they want to do, and I think they're doing, is hiring a bunch of police officers to go out there and police the black people more. Not in our community, in the black community more. This shit would not be possible if I was allowed to have a conversation and bring up things about race and educate motherfuckers on it, man. These things would not be, this backsliding wouldn't be possible.
I agree, Joe. But
And the shit, let me say this too. The other thing, where the other day they kicked the three congressmen when protested, and they protested. They wanted stricter gun laws, which I'm against, but I want them to be able to protest. And two of them were black, and one of them was a white woman. And the black guys they kicked out of office, and the white woman they did not. Shit like that. Even the optics alone should have told them, "Don't do it."
right,
Right? But
right,
you can only get away with that when we don't have these conversations.
Joe, absolutely. But you know what? There's so much shit going on right now in the states and in the government these manipulation of the districts, the boundaries, changing the rules, changing this. It's all distraction to keep the oppressed confused. And Joe, this is the time of the divide, man. I think it's getting worse. What you're saying, all this stuff is happening because there has been limits in our abilities to communicate. I didn't want to place any blame. I'll just say there has been limits placed on our abilities to
I've
communicate.
avoided placing blame a couple times today as well, as not to distract, but I wanted to say a couple names. I didn't say them either.
Yeah.
And yes, those distractions, they have a cause and a purpose as well. But the shit that I really dig is this communication shit that we're doing now. And we know certain motherfuckers hop up here, they're going to start attacking you, and we never get back to this conversation.
Joe, can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
Please.
Yeah, sure. Jack, if you don't mind. I'm thinking about Jack's trajectory.
Okay.
And his channel and his presence on YouTube. And obviously he has voiced certain aspirations for where he wants to go.
Right.
So you're obviously at a fairly high level of achievement in this realm.
Okay.
Do you feel like you've created a kind of message that you stand for, or kind of, has anything solidified, or is it your experience and you're just moving through life?
It's part of both. Of course, it's my experience of moving through life, but because I've become public now, and I'm still a small dude, my message does go to some people. Personally, I'm just starting that message that I'm trying to create, but it is spread. Like now, I am known on YouTube as the guy who will not pick your side because you're my friend. I don't give a fuck that I sit next to you every day. If you say something stupid, I'm going to call you out. Before, and even now, I'm known as the fence rider because I'm unwilling to do that shit. But I think that that's what I've built, and it's being seen by other people. That took 3 fucking years, man. And niggas still call me a fence rider or what have you, because I won't join a side just for the sake of I love you more or whatever bullshit. And there was something else. I'm getting high now. I'm starting to smoke. I forgot the other half of that shit. Oh, in the YouTube land, in the auditing shit, my message, and it has not gotten out there yet, is that police are people too. They're not bad cops, good people. Bad people are people, and police are people. So no, I don't want them to lose their job every time they do something stupid. I know how hard to earn a living with your kids, your wife, your mortgage. I don't want that guy to lose his job, and no one knows that about me. My message has not gotten out. I'm still working and crafting on shit when it comes to that.
Henry, I love your friggin' questions. He asks some very good stuff, draws out beautiful information.
That's because he's paying attention to what we're saying, and he's not fucking around in the chat. No, I'm kidding with that.
Yeah.
So, where do you see this going?
You're trying to trigger me, Joe.
Right.
Gonna get me defending my girl.
Right. That's all I'm doing.
Jack, where do you see this going? Like a year, 2, 3 years from now?
Very good question, Walls. Good question.
Well, first, let me address Joe. I think your message is coming through, because seeing your videos, I haven't spent a lot of time digging into them. I've just seen a few.
Yeah.
I think that message is coming through. You're presenting the chaos, but you're presenting human beings.
Yeah.
In chaos.
And if you watch me, I'm nice. I always walk up to a police. I'm nice. If you see me yelling, it's because he did something he should not have done. I want that image, and I'm aware of that racial shit too. I want to make black people look good. I want to make all people look good. That's my overall. But I am the only, really the only nigga in Chicago doing it, and the only one of the few black motherfuckers on YouTube doing it. I don't want to get out the car and say, "Die, cop, swallow a bullet." I don't want to be that guy, man. You know, my mom and grandmama taught me better than that. I want to make everybody proud.
Amen. Moose asks, "Would I see the future?" I'll be dead honest, and I know it's not an answer most like, but
Girl, you about to get yelled at. Go ahead.
here, let me preface. Actually, no, the conclusion is it's all in God's hands.
Girl,
But right,
girl,
I know.
girl.
The preface is there's a part of me, I don't rely on the Bible such as that tells me what the future is going to be.
Now this has the ring of truth, though. Your plan in 3 years will include the Bible and the things you learn. That coming out your mouth doesn't raise flags. You saying whatever you said at first, hey, I got no fucking idea. No, you have a plan and it includes God's.
Oh,
I'm listening now.
yeah. Thank you. Well, where I'm going with that is I know that everything can change.
But no,
Anyone's life
sorry to
can
be rude.
change
Fuck
in an
that. Yes, it
instant.
can change. What is your 3 years? What do you see? You lay asleep at night, you daydream, you know what you're doing. 3 years from now, I could tell you, since you're so fucking hesitant, 3 years from now, I'm sitting among the big wigs and I have a voice and they're listening to me and my opinion matters. That's your dream is somewhere lays there. I'm not sure the exacts.
Here, Joe. 3 years from now, because I know the world can go through a transformation. The entire world could be changed in less than a week. So 3 years from now, this world is already in the transition. I've already had the conversations with people in positions. They've been working on the plans. And at this point, me, like many others, are traveling the world, sharing our story, sharing the encouragement.
Thank you for your honesty, Chad.
That's where I want to be.
Yeah, my man. I'm a big kid, Jack, so I want you to make that. Even if I say he's wrong, he can't do it that way, I'm still the guy to call for a ride to that event because I want it to happen for you, bro. Prove me wrong. Shit. I want you happy.
Hey, Joe, I never thought, where are we at? We're in 23, so I'll say 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I was sober, but I was still suicidal and miserable. I didn't believe this world could change for the better. I think Donald Trump was already president back then. And
COVID. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't jump out the fucking window on lockdown.
It was before the lockdown and stuff. I was looking at the state of the world and I was like, what is this shit show? What is going on? There is no hope for humanity. Well, then I got the idea, Joe, then I got the stupid, crazy idea that I could do something, that I could maybe make a difference.
Right the fuck on.
Well, so far, everyone who used to know me in the past, they're betting that I'm wrong. But Joe,
prove them wrong, man. Prove them wrong. That's what you're here for. That's what we're here for. We're here to prove these motherfuckers that we're not just pieces of shit.
Moose, that was actually my thought today, is that my goal is to do these things, to rise either on YouTube or in the, in the boardrooms and meeting halls of government officials or businesses. My goal is to succeed. And so my thought today was, it was another failure here in Spokane. And, if I can succeed online, it'll attract my son and my family back. Or if I can attract my son and family back, well, then I'd have support to succeed online. So I'm going to win-win either way.
What is success? Can you define it? You say succeed online. What does success look like?
Succeed online is growing and using YouTube and the social medias to do what I said.
Kind of like James Freeman or Brian from High Impact. A judge acts out. He posts some vids, gets community together, and suddenly that judge is fired or because their word matters, right? So yeah, I don't even think I'm there. I'm not there.
Well, hey Joe, part of my vision in 3 years from now is that the world is changing, that I've been a big part of this, and so my dreams are going to come true. And there's a lot of inspiring, just brilliant people alive today that I want to spend time with, right? I want to talk to some of these people and learn firsthand what they've been learning.
Yeah.
One of them, to a lesser degree, is Dr. Jordan Peterson. Yeah. So I see growing here having panel discussions. I've envisioned panel discussions of like, I don't remember now, but some big names regarding the topics of consciousness, ego and spirit, mind and spirit, and then economics and politics, right? I want to
Eckhart
bring all of
Tolle,
this stuff.
Eckhart Tolle for the ego, economics and
Amen.
politics. Who would be a good economics and politics?
Well, I've got at a lower level that PBD, Patrick Bet David. He's a smaller version of Joe Rogan, but he's a pretty proud he's a proud American and a proud capitalist.
Okay.
And so
He
he'd
makes a
be
lot of money and he teaches people. He's a brilliant dude.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
Jack.
don't
I didn't mean
know.
to
Who
jump
is
in.
it? What's his
no.
name? What's his name,
Hey,
Jack?
PBD.
PBD.
He does valuetainment. The other one too would be Brian Rose with London Real. I'd like to actually, he would be an excellent place to have this discussion because he's already had some of the people I'd love to talk to.
Oh, he's up here talking to Neil deGrasse. This cat you talking about?
Yeah.
Wasn't Brian Rose trying to be like the mayor of London or something like that?
I think he did. Brian Rose, he seems like a cool dude. I like the stuff he's been doing. And he's living an adventure these days too in this lifetime. There's a lot of people living pretty damn cool lives. It took me over 40 years to pull my head out of my ass and realize
Same.
that I could think for myself.
Same.
So,
I wish police roll up to me. I would throw my hands up and let them go through my pockets and explain shit where I was coming, where I was going. I thought they had authority. I thought another person besides me had authority over me. It took me, until I started fucking watching these vids. I was in the dark, bro. And the same way I had that revelation, I thought I had my shit together. I was hustling. I was selling dope. I kept an apartment and car and phone and all. I thought I was doing well. But now I'm ashamed. I knew nothing. The same way I had that revelation at 50 years old or damn there, another revelation awaits, right? Which is why I don't have all the answers. What am I ignorant to? If I was that ignorant to that, a guy you were talking to, Jack, told you, that the cop has authority over you. And even after all of us on panel said, the cop, if you break no law, has no authority over you, he says, well, if he asks me to move, I'll still move. And that just strikes me. It strikes me. I'm not so sure why, but it strikes me, man. If someone else walks up to you and you're walking your dog or talking to your kid and tell you, hey, move, stand over there. You what? Who the fuck are you? What? And now, I used to think like that. And now I know just because a cop does it, he's a regular guy. I thought he was a god. I'm embarrassed to fucking say that shit, bro. I thought he was more than me or a politician or something. Fuck that. Fuck Oprah. Fuck that nigga.
Joe, I fucking love you. Your honesty and your admission.
Yeah.
As a man especially, it is humiliating to admit that you've been deceived, especially into being insecure.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I used to be terrified of authority.
Yeah.
Fucking police. I was always looking out, all paranoid and shit. And I'm white, right?
Right. I should be okay.
So,
but no, they'll kill you, motherfucker, fast.
He's like, man, I'm white. I should be able to do whatever I want.
I had a white friend tell me that he got pulled over on the way to our neighborhood. He was like, I'm so furious. I got to tell y'all. He was like, and I'm white. I understand it because he's pulling over somebody else, but I'm white. And to him, that's just normal. Why would you fuck with me?
Yeah. That was something, honestly, I didn't realize how regular that was. I mean, I thought it was an exaggeration about minorities being singled out and harassed, but I've witnessed it. I've seen it myself.
In Chicago, the surrounding suburbs are all white and we're segregated. And those, the tickets were high. We're talking about 3 to 10% of the population of those cities surrounding us, suburbs, and the tickets went to 90+% black people. Now I'm saying black people making up 3 to 10% of your neighborhood, they get 90% of the tickets. That's how rampant I'm growing up. What I'm used to seeing, if I seen radical here on YouTube, you know, I travel a lot. I get called nigger more than any black motherfucker should. And I grew up with all of my black people I admire telling me white man was the devil, right? You know, he can't even get to heaven. So yes, I'm confused as fuck, man. I'm trying to work shit out here, bro.
Hey, Joe, thank you for doing it. Because seriously, that's what I'm doing too, trying to figure this out. I was raised brainwashed and all backwards and wrong. But Joe, many are called, few are chosen, and even fewer, right, answer the call. And I think we
Yes.
are answering the call, man.
We absolutely are. Every time we bring up his name, every time we talk about that positive energy, every time you get humiliated, and your response is, well, God this, well, God that. You know, that is us taking up the call, and we're unworthy to represent him, speak for him, and all of that shit. But we do our best. You know, I can only imagine we get over there how much shit I'm gonna have wrong. You're gonna been that got wrong. We've been spreading his message for, at that time, hopefully another 50 years, and they're like, yeah, y'all was close. You know, but yeah,
Well,
we're game for the fight. Yes, we are.
honestly, Joe, the way I feel, there's no way I can be wrong. I've been challenging myself a lot with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Jack, you got to be wrong. Everyone, look at the results. Look at what everyone says. You got to be wrong, Joe. If I'm wrong, I don't care.
Let's test your theory a little bit, Jack. If you're wrong, this is me playing devil's advocate, so fucking lax. All right, it's my goal, and I think yours, to tear down this corrupt ass government.
Mm-hmm.
What if God's plan was to have a corrupt government to test his kids while they're over here and to reveal the might of him and his kid? And you're getting in the way. My point there is that we could be wrong, not that we are.
I'm willing to test that though. Okay? Because I think you're right. I think all the past, it makes perfect sense. The history I've learned, if you look at it as a teaching tool, the progression of humanity and the way that religions and politics and everything has been manipulated, it actually aligns with the scriptures, at least the
It
teachings and the
does, right?
messages.
It does.
Yeah.
What if?
So
Okay, go ahead.
I believe the past was perfect just for that. You know, we were allowed to descend into the darkness individually and collectively, but the goal is for us to choose to return and seek to the light. And I
I
think,
think so.
Joe, I think we are part of the plan that God is going to
Of course we are.
expose the darkness.
I think a lot of us are over there on that other side, Jack, making the same claim. If I were tested, if I was nothing I wouldn't do for you, Lord, I'd always sing your name in the same way the disciples were tested that night when Peter failed and some of the guys failed and left. He put us here to show us. So we ain't got to hear our fucking mouths no more over there. When we get back over there, you know exactly what you were willing to do. When the motherfucking money came your way, you sold them out. When you were in a crowded room of your peers, you shut him out. Right? Or you went against him even, you know, to retain popularity. You know, now it's all in the open. You know, everyone knows your record over there, so you can't bullshit nobody. You know, it's probably something like that.
I don't know if you caught this. I heard it elsewhere. I think at the end we're judged by what we do with what we have. And what
Huh.
you just said, Joe, see if someone gets corrupted when they receive some blessings.
Yeah.
See if they lash out and carry bitterness when they face some challenges.
Oh yeah. If someone hurts them, do they sit now and come up with ways to hurt them, or do they still wish the best for that person? Genuinely, right? You know, or are you over there wishing, I hope his channel goes down, I hope he's hit by a truck? Which one are you doing? Yeah. Shit.
Hey, Joe, That is so, you've said this before. It's like childhood stuff, the stuff that
Yeah.
I'm saying, right? It is. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
childhood stuff about getting along. But the serious thing is as an adult, I made it so I had a tough time doing that. My ex-wife, man, I carried so much bitterness towards her because I didn't have answers.
Yeah.
And since I didn't have answers, I allowed myself to stay angry and confused.
Yeah.
All I had to do was change my own attitude.
Yeah.
That fucking
Which ain't
simple.
easy, but it's true. It's
It
because
is.
the same people can be in the same situation, and the guy who has a good attitude, he is like, fuck, we got a flat, we don't even have a fucking jack, and you know he's in good spirits and he's laughing at how dumb they are not to bring a jack. The other guy's like, God damn it, we're gonna be late. I can't believe that bullshit. All the only difference there is an attitude. You're both in the same fucking place. So you're right. Your attitude is everything. It's difficult to change. For instance, I'll give you another one. Those guys with your union and your old job, which I know nothing about. I don't even know what you did. I just heard you say union. But undoubtedly, or I should say, apparently, you hold some bitterness for them as well. How easy is it to just say, today I'm going to change my attitude? It's fucking hard, bro. It's fucking hard, man. Especially if they do something stupid and remind you of why I've been so angry at your fucking ass all this time.
Amen, Joe.
Yeah,
Betrayal is a tough one. It's a tough lesson for us all.
it is.
But I have no bitterness for anyone in the past. Honestly, when the union turned their backs on me and when my son was taken out of my life,
Yeah.
Joe, it was the best fucking thing that could have ever happened to me. I know that in the
God's
future it will
plan is always
certainly
better
be
than
that.
yours. You would have never arranged that for yourself, but you know,
No.
like they say, God knows what you can handle type shit. He'll put the
Mhm.
right players around you to give you support when you need it, not when you want it. Yeah,
And he'll
you
take them away.
he'll take them away when you need it. He'll take them away,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
He's smarter than I am, bro. I had a plan. I wanted to uh, do recording. I wanted to be fucking rapper, you know, and I was on my way doing that bullshit. But God had another plan. I'd be up there talking about that shiny watch, nigga. Money talk. Shut the fuck up, nigga. I'd have been one of those guys, right? Had I took that route. You know, now I'm like liberty and justice for all, freedom, my brother. I love you like I
Amen.
love my own. You know, all that shit. That's because of the path he had planned. Made me a better person.
Hey, brother, it feels better and it's a safer journey for you. You know
Yeah.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe, and I don't know, I don't get my hopes up as far as rewards here on earth, but I do believe that our dedication and our choices will
Yeah.
be rewarded in the future. And if anything, dude, I have learned how to enjoy life. That's priceless.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
is. And how about this one? I guess this is part of it. What I'm going through right now are those two, life and people. What I was going to emphasize, people. I'm really getting a kick out of people, even people that other people consider lousy people or inadequate people. I get a kick out of them, bro. I love them, you know, and I'll put up with a lot of bullshit, you know, to get to that beautiful moment that I see in a person, blah, blah, blah. And the life shit, I think I've gotten there as well, man, on these trips and journeys. Every time I'm crossing a bridge, looking at a mountain or a funny shaped cloud, I am literally in tears. I'm talking to my father. Are you trying to kill me, God? I can't see. You know, I think, you know, I enjoy it, man. I'll pull over to see a bird and start filming to my friends. Be like, really, Joe? Really? Really? Yes, I'm enjoying fucking life, man. I am. And people, I get a kick. I look forward to taking a break. I've been editing all day and days before this and getting my little breaks and hopping on with some people with a certain energy. You know, I love it, bro. And then what
Mm.
God has for me. If it was meant for someone to come up here and be this disturb a thing, then God is smarter than me, and that will benefit me in some way. And even if he get up here and give me shit, I'm not going to get emotional and get in my feels about it. I can still stay outside of it and be humorous. If he calls me a name, it's just as funny if he called it Jack a name. To me, I'm not invested in that shit. That's your burden to bear. If you're doing harmful, sinful shit, it's not mine. You know, if I do let your negative energy draw mine out, then I've perhaps made a mistake. But if you were going to get up and act an asshole, I got nothing to do with that shit, bro. Fuck that.
Well, I've been trying to grow in that way myself too. But my patience, when you were talking, I'm judging myself, and I've recognized my compassion, my patience for others. It's probably pretty limited these days. I've been growing.
I
I'm proud.
appreciate
I'm
it.
proud
I
of how
appreciate
patient
it.
I am.
I
What's that?
appreciate the honesty there, bro. She said my
I
patience is, if I'm being honest, my patience is limited for some people. That's honest.
Well, even the compassion too, because well, once I've been learning that most of our emotional pains are self-created, and I found ways to get through my own.
Right on. You apply that here.
Well, when people want to keep their pains rather than focus on solutions, I'm like,
Yes.
I kind of get bored of it.
Right the fuck on, right? The first time at first couple times you may give them advice and shit, but if they keep coming back, yes, it will be boring. I can't get as invested. You fight everybody all the time. I can't get invested every time you run to me and say you have an issue with so and so. I'll see what I can do. We can go talk to that person, but I'm not getting all the. You got me the first 2 times. I'm not getting emotionally invested in that bullshit now.
God, when you're talking that, Joe, it brought back memories as a union officer and a leader. God, I get so caught up in the
My
problems of
man.
everyone else. So fucking emotional. I wish I knew what I knew. I wish I knew now back then. I'd have made. I'm not disappointed, and I do have some things I'm proud of that I was able to accomplish in my time. But man, I could have done so much more.
Yeah, that goes. So if I had my wisdom that I have now, and certainly my compassion, I made bad
Oh,
decisions selling dope. I thought I had it together, but I thought violence was okay, and I would justify it. That if you're getting, you're fucking with my money, you're taking food out of my kid's mouth. That was my go-to when I really want to do something violent to a motherfucker. I would not. I hope I'm beyond that shit now. I haven't had that thought in years. I don't want to hurt any fucking one. In fact, I take a lot of shit, from people get away with a lot of shit. And I don't know where I was going with that shit. Weed is something else.
well, you mentioned you had a past of anger. That was me
Yeah,
too. But you know
right
what,
on.
brother? The fact that we're sharing fellowship, the fact that we've met in these paths, there's a lot of motherfuckers alive today, Joe.
I know. Hell, let me tell you a story, which I should not tell. The last time I went to jail when I cleaned up, this guy came and tried to buy drugs from me. And I was told him, I don't know you, man. I'm not selling you shit. Later on that day, cops ride down on me and they take me to jail and said that I had a marked $10 bill in my pocket. They said $5 bill. And I'm like, fuck out of here, man. Ain't nothing that costs less than $10 here. So by the time it went to court, I had a marked $10 bill in my pocket. And I wanted to kill that dude. It was fair. To me, it was fair. I made plans. I called the right guys, got what I needed, right? And I don't want to get into the fucking details, but I saw him before I was prepared, right? I just had me coming out of the store where I buy my cigars at, and he was right there. And I was like, no, motherfucker. I was all up in his face. I was in his face so close that he had to turn his head. And I saw the police pull behind him. So it turns out he was working with the police all this time. He would catch like 3 cases a year working with the police, setting cats like me up. And the police pulled behind him, but he couldn't see him.
And when he turned his head, you know, because I was so close to his face, he saw him. He immediately ran to the police. And I say, fuck. Now I can't mention a man's name for another 3 months, so everybody knows it's me who killed him. And I went to my friends, the ones who I thought were most ruthless. And I asked them, listen, this, I saw that nigga, ooh, I should kill him, and all three of the worst niggas I went to, and purposely because I wanted them to say, kill that nigga. I said, no, Joe, it ain't worth it. Don't do it, and all of that shit. And now, you know, it's out of my mind. A lot of people are fucking alive because of, you know, what came our fucking way. He certainly would be under the fucking dirt by now.
Joe, we've had some tests.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I didn't come close to hurting people. I had the thoughts and opportunities and abilities, but I thank God that was not my path.
I came close, but I've never done anything, thank goodness.
Yes, right. And the older you get, the less chance and likelihood that you will. So you guys are probably, you know, you certainly. Oh, I wanted to say this. I forgot, Jack. You were talking about the cops earlier, and we were talking about race, and you were talking about how shitty it is for black folks. Don't forget that you yourself are 4 times more likely to die just by a police walking up in your presence. You know, that's a stat we would not tolerate for kids or anything like that. But it's a true stat. With me, it's probably 7, 8, 9 times more likely to die. But even for a white man, you're 4 times more likely to die the moment that dude says, "Hey, you got a second?"
Joe, this shit's got to end. We've got to change it.
Yeah, we're working on it, right, Jack?
I know. And you know what? There is hope. There's a lot of people working to change it. Inside the system, using the system, and then people confronting the system on the outside too.
Right on. I'm a little weird, and Henry, you could probably give me some advice on this. This system that I think is so corrupt and blah blah. I'm kind of against. I've never even filed a complaint on the police since I've been doing this, let alone sued anyone, because I have such problem with using the system, even to hurt the enemy that I disagree with so much. Is it's something I'm stuck with right at this moment, and I'm trying to decide: should I be filing complaints? Should I not? And I'm asking for advice from you cats.
I'm not the best person to answer advice. I mean, personally, if you want to lose money, start a lawsuit, right?
Yes, right.
Like, if you die in a month's time from something unexpected, do you want to look back at the last 4 weeks and say I was doing paperwork for some bullshit?
Hey, Joe, that's my answer too. I have no desire to spend any time in courtrooms or even in the office of an attorney.
Yeah.
But the other side of that, I still have actually when I reached out to Lauren, that was part of the idea is, well, I've been trying to find a way to navigate back through the system, but around the system and just communicate with the people. Yeah. Because we don't need the systems. We need resolve. And so on yours, Joe, case by case, man, but trust your heart.
My man, case by case. That's a good answer, bro. I shouldn't just shut it out.
No.
Right. And I see these other cats, and I know I'm not that guy. Where if a guy touches them, that's assault. I want to file a complaint. Yeah. Guy curse, use bad language, you know, and that's a lawsuit. If he put his hands on you, I'm not that guy. I've been in many fights. I've never thought sue the man. You know, I'm not that fucking guy. I don't want to be that fucking guy.
No, my approach too, Joe. I mean, my experience is in a smaller scale. You know, using the contract and regulations of the union. It's on the smaller scale to the court system, but
I understand, but I understand your decision now. You could be using the same system against the people you hate to try to get them on technicalities and shit, you know,
oh
and
yeah.
the urge and the desire to do that must be great. Yeah, it's like me learning laws. Yeah.
Well, where I was going with that though is as a union guy, what I learned is I hated grievances. Hated me if it comes to a lawsuit, it'd be a last resort. But
Right.
there's a tool for those. If you've got a dispute in an issue that's well evidenced and it is proper, if that can be used, you know, if it's something you can succeed on and that could be leverage for a greater cause or maybe someone else, then I believe stuff like that is worthy.
Well, that's if we're putting it in my language, that's akin to me. I should file a complaint on all these cops because the way they get attention is the more complaints they have in their folder when they're called. I might prevent something by filing a complaint on the cop that did me wrong because the complaints built up against them and they looked into it. It's so fucking hard to determine these things.
Okay. I've got an alternative opinion, Joe.
Yeah.
Your presence in the world isn't to get bogged down in the nitty gritty.
Very good.
Your presence is to be the one that you need to be as efficient as possible in delivering your message to as many people as possible. You don't want to get gummed up in bullshit.
I hear where you're going. Kind of like you said earlier about if you want to do paperwork all the fucking day. Yeah.
Like if you were to do a video and talk about 10 instances where you should have filed paperwork, how many people would that inspire to be more aware of stuff?
Right.
So instead of you doing that paperwork and doing it quietly, you can communicate the process to 10,000 people and then they can be the change. So you're like the instigator.
I thank you for that because I like that. I want to hear you don't have to file complaints on these. So I may be biased there, but I like that. There are other effective ways that you, Joe, can go about doing this shit.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, guys, I don't mean to wrap it up suddenly, but
no, wife, you texted me anyways. You done texted me about 4 times. Just brought that down.
Hey, the timing is perfect. This has been a wonderful afternoon. I appreciate you guys sharing time.
Same, Henry. I was so glad you hopped up here, man. I thought it was just gonna be me and Jack, and you added. And I thank you, Jack. You be easy, man.
You as well, brother. And we had Mr. Smith here earlier with some of his number connections, and Henry, we have so many possibilities for the future. It's up to us to discover them, create them, and capture them.
I love it. I'm glad I can be supporting you on the journey with anything you need.
Brother, you've been welcome, and you are welcome. And those who tune in for the I should do the YouTube stuff, right? Those who tune in for the conversations, please do remember to subscribe. Stay tuned because I think there are great things coming for our future through the Live Without Fear, through the being of Jack, and through you, whoever you are, those who are sharing time with this experience in history. I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you again for tuning in. Surrender to freedom. Identify the confusion, identify the regret, the guilt, the blame. Identify those things that are limiting the happiness and joy in your life. And once you identify them, surrender yourself to your options. What can you change? Can you change the environment? Can you change the habit? Can you change the experience, the practice? Can you change the tools? Can you change your perspective? That was a point I was alluding to a couple of times earlier today, and I've said it before. Our lives change with a change in perspective. Overcome your limits. Surrender to your potential, to your capabilities, to the unknown part of you, and believe. Believe that you can change into great things, whatever great things would be for you. And this is our life. This is our life to enjoy it, to fear it, to hate it, to capture the memories of it, to taste it, to smell it, to experience the joy of being you. So thank you for being you as I get to be me, and we share this journey through time together. And for those who do want to join, perhaps want to share some time, talent, attention for the purposes of helping me figure out what does success mean? What could we do? Who do we know? What might we be able to accomplish? If you have ideas for that, I shared some links in the description, and peace for everyone. Thanks. Much love. God bless, and live without fear.